Testing. 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 I guess it's just mine.
We got results.
We got results. Got to get a motion to go back into regular session.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we go back into regular session. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Opposed are the same. We are now back in regular session. Leaving out of the executive session, there were no decisions made and no actions were taken. Is there anything that we need to go forward with at this time?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a recommendation. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the recommendation of 4 elections that were provided by Dr. McCord.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we accept 4 recommendations for hire by Dr. McCord. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Opposed are the same. That is unanimous.
Mr. Chair, I'd also like to make a motion that we accept the 18 resignations, 6 of which were retirees that were presented to us by Dr. McCord.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we accept the 18 resignations, 6 of which are retiring. If you're ready to vote, all in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Opposed are the same. It has been accepted. I'd like to take this time on behalf of the board. The termination. We have 1 termination. A termination.
6.
1 termination.
I couldn't hear you.
Apologize.
Okay. I'm so sorry. As usual, as gray hair means I forget what I'm supposed to do. But anyway, I'd like now to make a motion that we approve 1 termination that was given to us by Dr. McCord.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the termination that was given us by Dr. McCord. In favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Opposed are the same. It is unanimous. I'd like to take this time on behalf of the board to thank those who are retiring this year, those 6 retirees. Thank you for your service to our community and especially to our kids through the years. You'll be missed. I know if no one else misses you, the kids will miss you. And we do thank you so very much. I can just think back on some people that I know that retired when I was in school. And some of those ladies I really missed. And if you know me, they were from the kitchens. I missed them very much. But they are missed, and you will be missed. So thank you very much.
I also would like to ask for a point of privilege, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Superintendent?
First of all, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for being present. As you heard, the board has approved 4 elections, 2 of which I would like to bring to you tonight. I believe they are here in the audience. One is Ms. Pam Johnson. She will serve as the Executive Director of Teacher Evaluation and Instruction for the secondary level. I'll ask her to come to the front. She will to introduce herself and talk a little bit about her experiences in education. She will be followed by Dr. Kimberly Walsh, who was recently selected as Executive Director of Elementary Curriculum. She too will share information about her time in education. But before they do, I'd like to take a few moments to thank all of those that applied for the positions that were situated in advertisements all across the Southeast. We had, as you've heard me say before, well over 40 persons applying for 3 positions here in Marlboro County, which says a lot about the direction we're going. Dr. Jason Bryan will lead this division. We're excited about the work that's in front of us. We are excited about the work that has been done, but we know that we're heading in the right direction. And so at this time, Ms. Johnson, I'll bring you to the front, and you'll be followed by Dr. Kimberly Walsh.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Dr. McCord, school board members for Marlboro County. It is my honor to be given the opportunity to come to serve the students, family, and the community of Marlboro County. I have been in the educational system for about 26 to 27 years. Within those 26 to 27 years, I have served as a teacher on all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. I've had the pleasure of serving as an administrator on all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. I've also worked on this post-secondary level as a learning specialist and in the special ed department as the lead educational diagnostician. All of these experiences, I believe, make me distinctly qualified for the position. I am eager and excited to be here in Marlboro County. I've had a little bit of time this evening to meet some of the team, and so we've kind of chatted a little bit, and I am just looking forward to meeting all of the administrators and teachers in the district as we forge a plan to move the students forward in Marlboro County.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Kimberly Walsh.
Good evening, Dr. McCord, board members, Marlboro County, those of you that are here in the audience. I am very excited about being here. I am looking forward to serving the students, serving the schools, and serving the community, because I think as educators, we are definitely servants, and we have to keep that in mind and do everything that we can, and I'm just very excited about working here. I have been in education for 29 years. I've served as a 3rd grade, 8th grade, and 6th grade teacher way back in the 90s. And then I've worked in Darlington County School District as the Testing and Early Childhood Coordinator. I also worked in Marion School District 7 as they consolidated overnight. Marion 3, Marion 4 merged together. I was the support coordinator, and I handled all the federal and state grant programs for that district. And then I've spent the last 17 years at Lakeview Elementary as principal there. I didn't plan to stay that long, but I went there, and it was home, and it was hard to break away. And my kids were in that same school district, and but they're all grown now, and I am ready to move on. And I am so excited about being here in Marlboro County. I promise you, I will work very hard for you, and I will make a difference for our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walsh.
Thank you. And finally, we do have one more announcement as it relates to administrative positions here in Marlboro County. As you all know, Julie Kane has offered her resignation, and she is retiring at the conclusion of the school year. Ms. Kane has been a longtime educator here in Marlboro County, I believe 40-plus years, which says a lot about Ms. Kane because she still looks like she may be 25. That being said, we have to be prepared to move on. We are announcing tonight, the board has approved and accepted my recommendation for Ms. Mahilda Douglas to fill the position at Clio Elementary School. Ms. Douglas, are you present back there? Stand up. Is Ms. Douglas back there? Okay, there she is. Ms. Crystal Harmer will be taking the duties of principal at Wallace Elementary Middle School. Ms. Harmer now currently serves at BIS. And Ms. Ashley Taylor will fulfill the role of principal at Bennettsville Intermediate School. She currently serves as a co-principal at Wallace Elementary School. And so, again, let's give these 3 dedicated professionals a round of applause as they prepare to lead us into the next level. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving forward, could I get approval of the minutes from March 1st, 2021 regular scheduled board meeting? And we need approval as well for March 22nd, 2021 special call meeting.
Mr. Chair, I offer a motion that we adopt the minutes for the March 1st regular scheduled board meeting and for the March 22nd special call meeting.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from March 1, 2021 and March 22, 2021. Are you ready for questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Opposers are the same. The minutes for March 1 and March 22, 2021 have been approved by the board unanimously. Points of celebration, Character Education District Student of the Month.
Good evening, Board Chair, Board members, and Dr. McCord. Tonight, it gives us great pleasure in recognizing the elementary level Character Education Student of the Month, Miss Melanie Lohman. Melanie's teacher says, proactive, honest, kind, and dependable. These are all the words that I use to describe my student, Melanie Lohman. Always been impressed by Melanie's character and attitude. She strives every day to do her best. She always comes to school with a purpose and a drive that is admired by all of her peers. She is truly a role model and a leader within my classroom and at Wallace Elementary Middle School. She is proactive in her words and her actions, carefully thinking of others before she acts. She is also not afraid to stand up for what she believes in, even when others disagree. Melanie exhibits the honesty trait because she is trustworthy and sincere in all that she does. An example was during virtual learning, when an assignment was given, she admitted that she did not do it on her own, but she did say she was sorry. She stated that she knew it was wrong, but she wanted to make sure that she made a good grade and made me proud of her. Due to all of that, Melanie has had to face, she is the most sweetest, considerate, trustworthy, and honest student in my class. I know I could look at Melanie to do what's right, even when it is hard. Melanie was unable to be with us tonight, but we want Melanie and her family to know that we are definitely proud of her and her actions. Thank you.
Congratulations, Melody. Congratulations.
Marlboro County High School's nominee for April Character of Honor, Character of Education of the Month, Honesty, is Chloe Jones. She's a sophomore. Chloe has displayed outstanding knowledge and practical skills in my driver's ed class. She displays honesty and a level of maturity to her classmates and teachers throughout the day at Marlboro County High School. In between classes and during lunch, when we are bombarded with students coming into my class to purchase parking decals or to receive paperwork to be able to attempt to get the South Carolina's driver's permit or driver's license test, Chloe has volunteered and continuously assists me with getting these processes completed with accuracy and follow-up. She is a big help to me as a teacher and really shows her honesty trait as she assists students with their needs. Chloe stays very busy at school as she's a member of the Gold Rush dance team, the Marlboro County High School golf team, the Marlboro County Mighty Marching Band, and a member of the Academy of Movements 2 dance company. Honesty is a great characteristic trait to have, and this young lady displays this trait well. Well done, Chloe. Chloe is actually away with the golf team, so that's why she's not here at the board meeting tonight. Thank you.
Congratulations, Chloe.
Now we have Dr. Kyle Wagner coming up to bring exciting news as it relates to some graduates from NETC. Dr. Wagner, I'll let you bring up, I see Ms. Zimmerman coming to join you.
Well, I'm very proud to read off some of these numbers because I can remember 3 short years ago that we stood here and talked about a new dual enrollment program that we wanted to roll out at Northeastern Dayton College, and the cooperation of Marlboro High School Board, the superintendent, has been phenomenal. We have a total of 79 students of your senior class receiving college credentials. We have 3 that have completed their Associate of Arts. We have 3 that have completed their Associate of Science. We have 1 that have completed their nurse prep program. We have 10 that have received their Introduction to University Studies, 7 that have completed their University Studies Transfer Certificate, and 55 students that have completed more than 6 credit hours from your senior class. I want to thank you for all of the faith that you had in Northeastern Technical College and your students. This is a very proud moment for Marlboro County, and we thank you very much. We'd like to name off some of the students that are here to be recognized.
Mr. Chairman, board members, and Dr. McCord. Excuse me. Mr. Chairman, board members, and Dr. McCord, again, we would like to thank you for this opportunity to recognize the students at Marlboro County High. At this time, we would ask Thomas Gwynn to approach. Thomas will be completing his Associate of Science degree, as well as receiving a certificate in Introduction to University Studies and a certificate in University Studies Transfer program at Northeastern Tech.
If you just ask them to stay there, we'll come up, we'll take a group picture.
At this time, we would like to recognize Jaheim McLaurin. Jaheim is on track to complete his Associate of Science degree with Northeastern Technical College, in addition to the Introduction to University Studies certificate and a University Studies Transfer certificate. Cantizua Covington. Cantizua is on track to receive her Associate of Arts degree, in addition to her Introduction to University Studies certificate and her University Studies Transfer certificate. Sydney Freeman. Sydney is on track to receive her Associate of Arts degree, in addition to an Introduction to University Studies certificate and a University Studies Transfer certificate. Jaden Hayward. Jaden is on track to complete his Introduction to University Studies certificate. Olivia Jeffcoat is an early graduate. She's an actual 11th grade student who has completed her Introduction to University Studies certificate and her University Studies Transfer certificate. McKaylin Chavis is an early graduate. She's an 11th grade student who will complete her Introduction to University Studies certificate and her University Studies Transfer certificate. At this time, we would also like to acknowledge Jaheim McLaurin as an early graduate. He's an 11th grade student who's completing his associate's degree, Associate in Science degree. We have 3 students who are not present today. Kaori Hicks, who will be completing her Associate of Arts degree and Introduction to University Studies certificate and University Studies Transfer certificate. Jada Ocean, she will be completing her Associate of Science degree in addition to the Introduction to University Studies certificate and University Studies Transfer certificate. And LaVonda Suggs, who will complete this summer her nurse prep certificate in addition to Introduction to University Studies certificate. Congratulations, and we thank you all for your support and hard work. To everyone here this evening, how much of a financial difference it has been for the students to receive their associate's degrees through Northeastern Tech while they're in high school. So the difference in cost for students to take classes with us, our students initially are charged about $177 per credit hour. in comparison to being charged $300 to $400 per credit hour at major universities or colleges in our area. With additional financial support through our Pell experiment, most of our students, if not all of our students, had no out-of-pocket costs for their degrees.
Again, I want to say congratulations. I don't think everybody just realized just how important that is when you can accomplish so much in 11 and 12 years, when some people it takes them 14 years to get to where they are right now. I want to commend the parents and the kids and NETC for having that vision to pull this off with us. We thank you for partnering with us. We hope and pray that it continues, and I hope next year that 79 turns to something like 250. Every senior has at least 14 hours already, 14 years in when they leave here. So parents, I urge you to push your children just a little bit, because this is a trying time, and it's a tough world that we're in right now, and everything that we can get now turns out for the better later on. Again, congratulations to all of you. AMI early.
AMI early graduates, I'll ask Mr. Dees. I see Mr. D. Come on.
Mr. Rembert.
Mr. Rembert, where's Mr. Rembert? Okay, Mr. Rembert, come on up.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Board Chairman, board members, and Dr. McCord. AMI Kids Infinity Marlboro is very excited to recognize two young men tonight for their great accomplishments. Notorian Watson was referred to AMI at the end of last year, and Darius Grant was referred at the beginning of this year. During their time at AMI Kids, they have worked extremely hard and completed the required coursework to be declared as winter early graduates. The staff of AMI Kids is very proud of these two young men for their dedication in making a difference in their lives, as well as achieving academic success. Darius Grant was the quarterback, and Notorian Watson was a running back and linebacker for Marlboro County Bulldogs. AMI Kids Infinity Marlboro would like to thank Dr. McCord and the board for allowing us to help students overcome obstacles to reach their highest potential. The staff at AMI Kids Infinity Marlboro would like to thank Dr. Watson and Coach Collins as well for their support and encouragement for the two young men that we're celebrating tonight, Notorian and Darius.
Well,
Not to take away from what anyone else has done here tonight, but I do want to take a special moment to acknowledge these two young men, because they represent what we want in education, and that is to see students turn around to reach their fullest potential. Some of us sometimes are quick to give up on kids, but don't give up yet. Kids still have a bright future in front of them as long as they have someone behind them pushing and encouraging them. And so I'm proud of these two young men. I'm proud of the program at AMI, where we also saw students last year graduate and have now continued and graduated from NETC. So again, every child that has an opportunity to fulfill their dream of getting an education, as well as learning how to do things the traditional way, we all succeed, whether it's one at a time or by the bucket. So I salute you, gentlemen. I salute AMI and the program, and ask if you have not been by to see that program, take a few moments out of one day to go and see it, and you'll see why results like this are possible. So thank you. Congratulations, gentlemen.
All right, man.
Is Ms. Whitney Camacho here? Is she, come on up. Let's give a round of applause to Ms. Whitney Camacho. She represents the PD region as our STEM Teacher of the Year, and she was also a state finalist. She's a top 5 state finalist for this award in South Carolina, and she's coming to us from Marlboro County.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Ms. Branton for nominating me, first of all. STEM is very important for everyone because not all students are going to be as successful in reading or math, but everybody has a shot with STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's more hands-on applications. We do coding in my room. We've just purchased some robots through Donors Choose, some coding robots that we'll be using once COVID is clear so we can actually get our hands on them. We build things, we design. I give them problems that relate to a picture book we use in class. So my kids really enjoy it, and it is my favorite part of teaching. So
Thank you. Thank you for representing us.
Thank you.
Very good.
DECA Award winners, followed by Blenheim Middle School of Discovery FBLA competition winners.
Good evening.
Ms. Rhonda Van Pelt.
Yes, hello. Good evening, Board Chairman and Mr. Dr. McCord and everybody. I want the 3 to come up here and stand with me. I don't like to be alone. Sydney Freeman, Jaheim McLaurin, and Thomas Ewan. Yes, I made them wear their blazers.
Hey, I like that. I like that. That's awesome.
And it should not surprise you, they have NETC shirts underneath these blazers.
Not
So-
at all.
Because
That is awesome.
these 3 exemplify leadership and dedication. DECA is an association for marketing students, and 2 have been with me for 3 years, and Thomas a couple years. They just recently, of course, this has been a virtual year. It's been different for all of our DECA students across the world, but we did regional virtual, we did state virtual, and these 3 got a gold award for presenting our program of work at our state convention. But it was all virtual, but they determined they got it done, and they did an amazing job. And gold status is the highest you can get in your program. And currently, they're all 3 registered in the international conference that's taking place now through the next couple weeks. So I'm very proud of them. They have great successes ahead of them. I wish them the best, and I will miss them as seniors next year. So thank you. Congratulations.
Blenheim Middle School of Discovery. They coming.
Good evening, Chair McNeil, school board members, and Dr. McCord. It gives me great pleasure to recognize our students. Our Future Business Leaders of America members attended and competed in the FBLA state competition during the week of March 8 through 12. This state leadership conference was held virtually. The members that competed in a tested area were allotted 45 minutes to answer 50 questions online. There were members that had to submit videos for the competition, and these videos were prejudged before the conference. The prejudged events included Isaiah Johnson elevator speech and Jameson Bethay and Kendall Miles community service project. Kendall Miles and Jameson Bethay ranked number 1 for community service project. Jameson Bethay placed 2nd for business etiquette. Isaiah Johnson ranked number 2 for elevator speech. Kendall Miles ranked number 1 for career exploration. Salim Unisa, number 2 for career exploration. And Shredda Patel, number 3 for career exploration. Jalen Thomas ranked number 1 for digital citizenship. We are so proud of all of our members, and all of our members that competed were in the top 3 in this state. Let's give them a hand this time. Yes, again, that is Kendall Miles, Jameson Bethay, Salim Unisa, Shredda Patel, and Jalen Thomas, and Isaiah Johnson.
Oh, hold on, there's a couple folks in the back taking pictures. They want to get the young man, I'm sure. Congratulations to all of you. We do apologize to our viewing audience, as well as those present, for what some might consider to be a lot of good news, and that's a good thing. Sometimes we forget that good news does exist. Our final piece of good news, if you have not seen this announcement, Duke Energy has agreed to award and fund the district for our summer program in the amount of $8,000 for iTutor. Ms. Quick Primus is going to give us more information about this award.
Good afternoon, Board Chair, members of the Board, and Dr. McCord. 2021 K-12 Duke Grant awarded to the following places in South Carolina. Duke Grant provided $375,000 in grants throughout South Carolina organizations that will fund tutoring programs and reading programs in the underserved and minority communities to combat gaps of learning from the pandemic. The funds will also support environmental education for Title I schools and cultural relevant professional development, particularly as it pertains to racial inequality in education. I'm pleased to let you know that the Duke Energy Foundation has voted to fund Marlboro County School District for our first ever iTutor 345 program virtually for $8,000. The iTutor program will offer live instruction in conjunction with the CDF after-school program, who now has our 21st Century Grant, online tutors with certified teachers, and academic distinction students, 3 days a week for the next 6 weeks. Students will have opportunities to have one-on-one sessions that will build their confidence in subjects while strengthening their foundation and homework assistance. The goal of the iTutor #345 after-school program is to help overcome academic challenges and lead them to independent learning during our after-school hours. Services will begin on April 27, 2021, and will continue until June 4th, 2021. We are excited to partner with the Duke Foundation and the Children's Defense Fund 21st Century After School Program with this endeavor, and we look forward to the positive impact on our children in this school district. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Primus, and we want to thank Duke Energy for all that they're doing and partnering with us. And this is something we know that is needed with all the struggles that we've gone through with COVID this year and with the lack of what some of our kids have been able to get. This is a great opportunity for a lot of our kids, and we do appreciate it. And I'm going to ask every parent, if you have a child that needs to be in there, please make sure. Please make sure. Thank you very much. There are no public comments. We will go forward with the board items for discussion, board work session for Section G. Will be May 22nd and May 29th. I think you found that in your packets. It was sent to you.
Right. Also, you should have received notification from the attorney that the only two dates that she has available are May 22nd and May 29th. And so you'll just pick one of those dates, and we'll come in here, and it may be possible that you need both dates. So I would suggest, if I could, and it's your meeting, that you do the 22nd and be prepared to meet the 29th from 9 to 2 p.m. G, as you know, is a very big section.
It is.
It's Saturdays, right?
Both
It's on
are
a Saturday. And please keep in mind that the 29th leads up to Memorial Day weekend.
It's going to be more.
So if you can just contact Ms. Cribb on tomorrow.
22nd for me.
Is that good? Can we can do a vote right quick? If I can get someone to make a motion.
Make a motion, we do it on May 22nd. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we hold our work session for Section G on May 22nd. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hands. Opposes? It's unanimous. Ms. Coachman?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring something up that it may be inappropriate, but I think it's appropriate that we move the public comments up on the agenda. With for some reason it's low, we can move the public comment on the next board meeting, and in the near future, following
Move it up to,
following the approval of the minutes on our agenda, on the agenda.
okay.
Because it's so far down, if anybody had public comments, I think they would have left, and they was up on the agenda
Okay,
for public comments.
okay. We can do that.
Okay.
That shouldn't be a problem. Let's move it up to, move up the public comment up to right after the approval of the minutes. Make that the next, that would be next on the agenda, after the approval of the minutes. Okay? Marlboro County School District Hall of Fame.
We have Connie Anderson, who's going to come up. Some of you may recall back in 2020 during COVID, we talked about finding a way to recognize the many that have come through Marlboro County that have contributed not just to uplifting Marlboro County, but in many cases the state, the nation, as well as the world. There have been many that have donned the halls of one of the schools in Marlboro County, as well as those that have lived here, that have produced offspring that have gone on to do successful things. And so we like to find a way to honor and recognize them so that our students can see that they too come from greatness. And Ms. Anderson is going to explain the process, and then we're going to ask everyone to get involved and stay involved as best they can.
Chairman McNeil, members of the board, Dr. McCord, I bring before you a Hall of Fame, Marlboro County School District Hall of Fame. It's long overdue. We want to recognize our, not only our sports Hall of Fame, which is already happening, but we also want to start recognizing all of those who have made any kind of impact on Marlboro County. For instance, we're going to honor graduates of Marlboro County schools and other persons whose interest in athletics, whether professional, vocational, voluntary, have resulted in significant contributions to the betterment of the school district, their communities, their states, and our nation. We're going to be looking for inductees those whose personal qualities reflect the values of good character, seeks to promote, that's what Marlboro County School District seeks to promote in all of its students, such as respect, fairness, kindness, cooperation, honesty, dependability, responsibility, good citizenship, caring, and self-discipline. We formed a committee of several community members, myself, Dr. Robinson, Ms. Fran Lewis, Jeremy Bethay, Ronald Hennigan, Kenneth Yates, Billy Henson, Selena Blue. Most of these people were born and raised right here in Marlboro County, throughout the county. Many who graduated from not really Marlboro County High School, but a high school that's listed in Marlboro County. We worked on some eligibility requirements, and this is what we came up with. A nominee may have shared an inspiring vision for the education of the district students and/or made notable contributions to the district educational policies or programs and/or made a significant contribution to society at large as a consequence of their education in the district schools and/or made significant contributions to Marlboro County School District, to their communities, to their professions, and/or to society as a whole. Nominees may be living or deceased. Now, nominees for the Hall of Fame can include former Marlboro County High School students. That means former students that graduated in Marlboro County. They don't have to have graduated from the consolidated Marlboro County High School. It could be from Colic, it could be from McCall, it could be from Bennettsville, it could be Bennettsville High School, wherever, as long as they graduated in Marlboro County, in the Marlboro County School District. They can also be school board members, Marlboro County School District school board members. Could be community leaders, not necessarily who graduated in Marlboro County, but who made an impact while they were here in serving Marlboro County. It could also be parents, any parents of Marlboro County students, and any other persons that you think made a contribution which may qualify them to be a member. One thing that we did note was that you can apply yourself. You can be nominated by someone, but you cannot apply yourself, okay? If you nominate someone, you can only nominate one nomination per calendar year. If you look on our website under community, the Hall of Fame information is there, the application is there, the nomination application is there. You can fill out one, you can send it in. We will be accepting applications from May the 1st through June the 30th. We will be announcing our inductees in probably October, November. We haven't really decided exactly how we're going to do that yet. We're trying to see how COVID plays out and all that, but that is the plan as we speak right now. In this section, the nomination form, it asks different things about what why you think that the person should be nominated and so forth. And it is a rubric, so it will be scored on a rubric form, and we will see. For the first 2 years, there is no limit of how many inductees we have. After that, there will be a limit of 5 inductees, no more than 5 inductees per year. But for the first 2 years, we know we've got a lot of catching up to do, so we haven't really set a limit on it yet. Do y'all have any questions about it, the Hall of Fame? Okay.
I'd like to thank you, Ms. Anderson, as well as those that participated in coming up with this criteria. I also would like to just reflect for a moment on the many, again, as I stated earlier, that have done and contributed greatly in our society. You know, when you hear Hall of Fame, you think most times about athletics. Athletics don't run schools. We are an academic institution, always have been, always will be. We want our students to see greatness in themselves. And I'll stop without going too far. I read a story in the local newspaper recently about a young man who graduated from the high school who endured some hardships as a youngster, continued with his pursuit of post-secondary education, and now is a successful dentist speaker, and now author, living and contributing in the Columbia area as well as surrounding areas. And I just said, wow, that's what we need our kids to see. Our kids need to see more of what they can become and hear less of what they cannot become from some of us in the community. And I say that and mean that. And so we want to recognize individuals, and we want to do it in a magnificent way so that others can see it. And just like they walk past the Athletic Hall of Fame and say, I want to be like him, or I want to be like her, they'll walk by a Hall of Fame and know that they don't have to do it on athletics alone. It can come from academics. So thank you.
Thank you. Capital improvements on projects in Marlboro County High School parking lot.
We got my COVID updates.
I'm sorry, COVID updates, y'all. I apologize. I looked right over COVID, and that's one thing you can't overlook now.
Yes, sir. Who has the clicker? I'll do it from up here. So we have now returned to school 5 days a week. We have made it 1 week. Many of you know that we started the school year off with 1 day a week, and then we went to 2 days a week, we went to 4 days a week, and now we're at 5 days a week. And some have feared that as we have done it each time, the numbers would go up. Let me start off with my PSA. The vaccination sites and clinics include Marlboro Family Practice, CVS, Walmart, Care South, McLeod, and Sherrall. We send this information out weekly, where you can get the vaccination, as well as you can find it on our websites. This is just one of our tools to help us stop the spread of the pandemic. Get the shot. Get the shot. It's an individual choice, but we ask that you consider others in making those decisions. Right now, how do we measure up? In the district, you see the number of employees in the district that work at sites in the district, those that have had one shot completed, those that have completed both shots, and those that have declined. Currently, we stand at about 61% that have taken at least one shot. So that means about 41% still have not taken the shot. Although we cannot force anyone to take the shot, we like to encourage the adults in our school district to take the shot so that they can not only keep themselves safe, but keep those around them safe. As you know, when you see the CDC guidelines and recommendations, after you have the vaccination, both shots, and you've been cleared, it gives us an opportunity to do things a little differently. Here in the district, currently we have 2 staff members that are positive and 2 under quarantine, 8 students that are positive, 24 under quarantine, and again, I'd like to remind everyone that none of these, as far as we know, have been traced back to any of our buildings. Thank you for our staff, for our students, and for families for helping and continuing to follow all safety protocols at all times while in schools. This is just a breakdown of the previous 30 days here in Marlboro County. As it stands for the district, we've had less than 5 cases in each of our schools, and that information is available for you again on our website, and this is as reported by DHEC. Now, of course, one of the things that we have had to face since we have been back 1 week now is getting students back in school, face-to-face. We have some students that elected for the virtual academy for the entire year, and we have others that were in the hybrid model. There is no more hybrid model. I was told today that we may have to do some double backing on one of the schools, which has the lowest percentage that is attending face-to-face. There is no hybrid. You're either in school 5 days a week face-to-face, or you're in the virtual academy. Parents, students, know that it is your responsibility to be in school and to make up any missed work. Please speak with your principals about this for further instructions. I believe the high school is still working on getting kids back in school. I say to everyone, don't be as alarmed by the numbers that you see, because this is everywhere. This is every high school USA. High school students are the only group in our students that are able to do what, or have been able to do what since they've been out? Work. And it becomes a tussle getting in between a student and their work and their money. So school versus money versus work. So I encourage you, anyone that's in listening ear or anyone that's watching, if you know of a high school student that is not attending when they should be attending, bring them to school. Make sure that they're attending so that we can get them out. This directly impacts the graduation rate. It directly impacts the promotion/retention rate. It directly impacts how well students learn. I'll take any questions that you might have. I'm sorry, do I need to leave that up a little longer? That's enrollment versus attendance. On the right side, 3664 is what we have enrolled in the district. And as you can see, on April 15th, we had a little shy of 3,100 in attendance, for about 84%. So again, there's much work to be done. And it is doable. As you can see at Wallace and at Blenheim and at McCall, those rates have been 90% or better, and we're striving for that across the county. Thank you.
Those high school students that are 16 and above who are eligible to receive the vaccine, are you going to include those at some point in the numbers of students being vaccinated?
Well, on Friday, I believe, was it Thursday or Friday? Friday, we had 20 students, 16 or older, that elected to get the shots. They will take the second dose 2 weeks from now, and I think at that time, there'll be another opportunity for those to take the first shot. So we are encouraging students. You don't need parental consent. We did send out parent consent notices from the high school just as a formality, out of respect. But again, students do not need that to get the shot. If they're 16 years or older, they can get the shot. And by the way, I don't have to read it for you. You can read it for yourselves. You can do the research. There's much to be said either way. But I've taken both shots. I did so proudly because I know it's more about those that I'm around. I'm a public figure. I'm in the public continuously, and I want to make sure that I'm, if doing nothing else, keeping those around me safe. I practice safety protocols as best possible, and that includes getting the shot. And so I would encourage everyone, not just the young, but those not so young, to go out, do the research, find out whatever it is you need to do to help overcome those anxieties and get vaccinated.
All right. Thank you, Dr. McCoy. Capital improvement projects from the Marlboro County High School and the Marlboro County High School parking lot.
Go back up here, yes. This information has been shared with the board. This is just an update of what's going on in the district over the next few months. Let me try to find it here in this packet. I can probably tell it to you off the top of my head. But as you know, there's work to be done here in Marlboro County School District. We have done a tremendous amount of work in just a short amount of time, and with that comes what I consider to be the idea that we can get it done right away. We are doing our best to do more and more each and every day, and we're continuing with our work. You've heard us talk about construction updates or capital improvement updates here at the high school. Those of you that are seated in the media center right now, what's the first thing that comes to your mind as I look out in the audience? Everyone is doing something consistently. What is that? Fanning. And that is because we don't have adequate HVAC units in here. Happy and proud to announce that HVAC units have been ordered and they will be replaced over the next few months. This, of course, is not a one-day job. It will require a lot of moving parts to take place, but it will be done and completed before we begin again in the fall at Marlboro County High School, BPS, and BIS. The high school AstroTurf or field turf, that project is scheduled to begin actually this week on Thursday with a completion date of July 21st. BPS in McCall, they have barred units for the HVAC systems. Those two will be replaced. They have been ordered and will be replaced between now and the fall. The high school and BPS will have fire alarm replacements. Engineering and design as required by OSF is in process, so I can't give you an exact completion date on that, but as you know, I like to work as quickly as I can, and I'll have that information for you soon. And the HVAC replacement in D building or D hall in this building will take place. Now, one of the items that's not included in the capital improvement plans that I think we are also in the process of beginning, and that is, this was brought up ironically earlier tonight, but we are in the process of doing a makeover for the media center here at the high school. That information has not been shared until just now because we are looking for a complete makeover, but that's going to be something on the agenda in the next few months. Something else that's not on the capital improvement project, and this has a lot to do with cost, is the parking lot at Marlboro County High School. I've submitted to you what I consider to be a price list. I encourage you to go through it, take a look-see, find out what it is you'd like for me to do for the high school parking lot, and we can build it. It's not a cheap endeavor. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.2 upwards of $2 million for a parking lot. So I'll ask you, when you ask me to do whatever it is your wish, is this the best use of money when that time comes? There are some options that are available to us. I'll bring those suggestions to you if requested. We are trying to find ways to improve the status of the parking lot, but again, I'd like to see us knock out and tackle some other items along the way first. That's just my 2 cents on it, but I did want to bring it to you.
Okay. Is there funding? Would there be funding for this parking lot?
Over time, if you recall, in that capital improvements plan from 2018, we had projected by, I think, 2024, we could have the parking lot resurfaced, and it could be done with 8% money that would be compounded over time to get that project done. But again, it's not going to come at a cheap cost. But it does need to be done. And the goal is to have it done by 2024.
Can monies be used if there were, and I'm trying to remember that there's some monies that may be available that has to do with school refurbishings, and I would think this parking lot would be a part of that.
I don't know what monies those are. You have to enlighten me on that. Are you talking about 8% money?
No, it may be some grant money somewhere.
Grant money? If you
Yes.
find out, let me know.
I just thought I remember reading something about something that we just recently got.
No, sir.
Okay.
But we are exploring ways to get it done. It's going to be something that I think we're going to have to ask and request for assistance from local agencies, whether it be city or county. We're not the only entity that uses the parking lot, and so we'll reach out and try to partner as best we can with those that also use the parking lot, including DOT, I think the Department of Transportation for bus services, for South Carolina Department of Education. We do training, we host training sites, so we are exploring options along the way.
Dr. McCord, under the MCHS BPS fire alarm replacement, when you first came, we had a problem here at the school, high school, with a fire alarm, and we had to basically put everything on hold. We were replacing a system or something then. Has this got anything to do with the same thing?
No. When I started, we had a situation with a generator not being in operation for, I think, 7 or 8 years. The fire panel also is in need of replacement, but the generator was the issue that made us put everything on hold. Now, the fire panel, we looked at some options for replacing the fire panel to include the sprinkler system, but it was very costly. Now, thanks to the ESSER funds that we have received, we're going to be able to complete this project.
Okay.
Not the sprinkler system, but the replacement of the fire panel.
There's a fire panel, but that has nothing to do with the fire alarm replacement at all. Okay, totally different. All right.
That's my report. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got some questions.
Mr. Branch?
about the parking lot. So it's basically 2024 before we possibly can get anything done on it. It's pretty embarrassing to ride back through the parking lot and see all those potholes. Is there any way we can get it resurfaced until we can do all of this?
If you look at the information that I shared with you, it's kind of a la carte style. Bless you. So the answer to your question, the immediate answer is yes. We can do some things to fill up potholes, which we have done over the past couple of years. We'll continue to do that, to do it professionally. We are going to explore that. But to be quite honest with you, I don't want to, I'm just going to go to, if you look at item 19, sweep, clean, and apply tack coat, 2-inch surface, pavement markings to match existing. You see that? Bless you. That's $500,000. And it's still not going to be a completely done job.
Yeah, but
so when you ask, can we do some things, the answer is yes. I gave this list so that you'll see what the pricing is, and then we'll try to make the best of what we have.
Well, to me, it's about safety more than anything else. And, you know, $500,000 is nothing if you consider the safety of our kids that are walking and driving on this surface.
Right. Much like the roads here around Marlboro County. So again, and not being facetious.
This is our property that we're responsible for taking care of.
Not being facetious, but again, we don't use this property in isolation. So as I stated earlier, we'll seek out assistance from others because this is a community property. It's a very high traffic area. And by the way, as I said earlier, it's not just Marlboro County that uses that parking lot. And so we'll seek out some assistance and see what we can do. But I wanted you to at least see what the cost estimates are so that when we begin to have those conversations, we can steer folks in the right direction that want to assist us.
I understand that, and I still feel like it's something that we should do immediately. I mean, I've been asking for this for a number of years, and it hadn't happened, and I feel like this is...
This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's been...
I've asked for this for a number of years.
It's been brought up at least 3 or 4 times since I've been on the board, and maybe you weren't here
I wasn't.
when it was, but I'm kind of leaning with Jackie on that we need to get something done about the parking lot as soon as possible. And I would rather fix it than keep redoing it because, you know, when you fill in a pothole, it's just a matter of time before it opens back up. So, I understand you said you'll reach out to other people to see if we can get some funding, but I don't want to just push that aside because it costs us $1 to $2 million to get done. And I know we can use that money to do other things, but, you know, it's just something that we still needs to get done. So, you know, I'm wanting to get that done also.
Well, I will do my best, as I said, to explore what the options are and bring something back to you. If you want it done right away, you have the authority. We do have money available in our fund balance. I think it can be done and completed. However, we're going to have a conversation about fund balance later on. If you ask me, that's where I'd like to start. But I do want something to be done. Again, as I said, it's the first I'm hearing of it. I've been here 3 years. I do agree we need to resurface the lot. I do agree it is an issue of concern. How we get to it and getting it done, that's where you have to give me guidance.
Well, I'm sorry.
Would it be safe if we just brought somebody in other than us and just do a survey of exactly what needs to be done?
Oh, this is it right here.
But this is the
from a professional.
But this is the entire parking lot as they see it. And I know I've had a conversation, and I'm not sure the entire parking lot, and I know we're not patching, but you don't have to patch if you take a portion out and put another portion in. If you take, I say half of the parking lot or whatever needs to be done. Because what we're looking at says that that's the entire parking lot will be torn up and replaced. And does the entire parking lot need to be torn up and replaced? That's a lot.
And it's a big lot. That's a great start point, but again, this is professionally done. The estimates are professionally done. I'm trying to see if we can pull up the parking lot. And I think, again, if you give me some guidance and direction as to how you want me to fund this, so jump past finding some assistance, we'll begin. But my first option is to see what we can get in terms of assistance. I have the pricing, what are the costs? I don't think you can do some of the parking lot and not do all of the parking lot. That's just my thought. Because which part would you do? Would you do the bus portion of the parking lot, which has the heaviest traffic, or would you do the student portion of the parking lot, and then how far back would you go? Would you go all the way back to the stadium, or would you just stop? So if we do it, I submit to you that we do it all together. We just have to find out how we're going to fund it.
I'd like to make a motion that we come back and after looking over and hearing some more options and thinking about it, and bring something back to the table for next month's meeting.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine.
I didn't hear what he said.
He said, would you repeat that?
Make a motion that we look at some more options and give you time to try to talk to some other people in the county and come back at the next board meeting and see if we came up with something that can help us to move forward with the project.
I like that.
Okay, that's a motion. I need a second, if that's going to be a motion.
I second.
Okay, it has been moved in second that we allow, if you would repeat that, I'm sorry, Mr. Coach.
You don't need a motion for that.
You don't need a motion.
For the next board meeting, allow Dr. McCord and all other entities in Marlboro County to see if we can partner with somebody to come together, see if we can put together a plan to help the school district fund the pavement parking lot.
All right. It has been moved in second that we ask Dr. McCord to see if he can partner, make other partnerships with other entities to come together to see if we can find funding for the entire parking lot by the next meeting. Am I right?
Yeah.
Are you ready for questions?
I'm not sure what we're talking about, him just trying to find funding before the next meeting.
That's
what
what
I'm talking
Mr.
about, right?
Coachman, yeah, that's what Mr. Coachman is asking.
Find funding, work with
I'm assuming
partners.
he's
We
already
got partners
looking
all
for
around the
funding,
place.
but that'll be fine, let him look some more.
That's
I got,
Ms. Bright.
do we have to do it by next board meeting? Could we put it
No,
on?
but I'm just asking to bring something back so that we can see where we're at then. It don't have to be done by then.
Yeah. Can we give them a little bit more time to get together more? Maybe the meeting in
It's
June.
been moved.
90 days.
Okay, it's been second, so we'll need to amend your motion to say 90 days.
Yep.
Amend it, Mike.
So I need an amendment.
I'd like to amend the motions to say 90 days.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved in second.
I'm going to just show just for a moment.
Let me get past this. It has been moved in second that we give Dr. McCord 90 days to partner, to try to find partnerships to help find funding for the parking lot. Are you ready for questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. All opposed? It has been approved.
And this is the parking lot, thank you, and I apologize. Zoom out just a little bit so we can get the left side. So, to the point that Mr. Branch made, or maybe it's Ms. White, this parking lot is considered student parking lot, staff parking lot, game parking lot. This parking lot over here is transportation parking lot. As you can see right here, we do trainings, not for just Marlboro County, but for the state. This parking lot is also used by different agencies at different times for different reasons that are not necessarily related to the high school, but related to the county. So when we see we're going to seek partners, we want to ask those that are in Marlboro County to assist us in whichever way we can, because I don't think any of you will disagree. There's no way we could do a portion of this parking lot without spotlighting or bringing attention to the part that's not done. So we have to do it. And it's just something to consider. Thank you for 90 days. And I'll get some information to you, and we'll go from there.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
I have something entirely different. If you can do
Okay.
that.
Get
So,
Mr. Drizzy
Mr.
first.
Coachman, okay.
I've got
Mr.
something
Drizzy.
entirely different if we're through with the parking lot.
We are finished with the
Okay.
parking lot.
I have concerns about the turf. As far as the mid-May to July the 21st completion date here, Dr. McCord, that's going to be a direct conflict with graduation in the stadium. I know there's some concern within our county about the graduation being in the stadium, inside or wherever it's at. Could you enlighten the public and myself and all of us on any options we might have or things we might can do to, work through a field turf being put in at the same time as graduation should be held?
Yes, sir. And first, let me say, when we spoke about the AstroTurf begin and start date, in my haste, I believe it was stated by myself that we would be able to have this project done, begin after graduation, and be completed by the time of football season, the beginning of football season. I made an error. I made an error because it is a 70 to 90-day project. I made my error in haste, not deliberate. I say this because, again, initially I was still thinking that we graduated a little sooner. That being said, the project is scheduled to begin this week on Thursday and complete well in time for our first football game. I have heard from a few that there is a concern about graduation not being able to be held outside because we will have started on the project to AstroTurf the field. That is correct. We would not be able to have it outside on June 12th because it would not be complete. However, I'd like to remind everyone that 2 years ago, we held the graduation inside, and it was a hit. I don't know how to say it in any other way. We received more positive comments about the graduation being held inside in the gym than I think just about anything we've done in my short time here. That being said, that was pre-pandemic. That was 2019. 2020, and that's during the era of the pandemic, there was a question as to whether or not a graduation ceremony would be held at all. I only bring that up to bring this up. We did some things differently last year to make sure students had an opportunity to graduate, walk across the stage outside. Conditions we have no control over. Inside, it's climate control. Outside, you have no control. Outside, if it rains, prior to getting the field done, there was an issue or concern about the rain or the soggy field, which could lead to a lot of other things. I'd like to ask that you consider this. If it absolutely has to be held outside, and that's the push, then let's have it outside, and let's have it in July, which is what we did in last year's graduation. Students were still afforded an opportunity to graduate, walk across the stage. They'll be the first class to go across the newly turfed field. It'll be a beautifully designed field, and I think that helps us provide an option. Inside, we can have the date scheduled and continue as has been communicated by the high school. If it's going to be outside, we have an option. We can proceed we can't say that we haven't done this before, because we did just last year. And so again, that would be my suggestion, is that we look at options to include a late graduation, when I say delayed graduation, not late, or continue with it being outside. So,
Would there be a limitation on tickets provided for the parents as far as either one of these options?
Dr. Watson, if you don't mind, I'm going to let you speak on this because you run the day-to-day operations here, so tell us what you have in store.
To answer your question, Mr. Drigger, there would be a limitation based on social distancing. We're going to utilize, like Dr. McCord spoke, we're going to utilize the gymnasium. That will be where the ceremony takes place at. Then we'll have an overflow room in the cafeteria, the commons area, and we'll also utilize the media center. And we'll utilize classrooms as well. It'll be televised live stream. So people can sit at the house, people can watch it in here, they can watch it in the media center. If we need to open up some classrooms, we'll open up some classrooms as well. So the ticket count right now, we're looking at 4 tickets per senior.
That's inside.
That's inside, yes, sir.
And what about limitation outside on the football field? You haven't looked at that?
I haven't looked at it because, well, we have, it was 5 tickets outside, but go ahead, I'm sorry.
But with mask on outside in the stadium, it would be more people that could attend, and you'd be able to use the distance, and especially with the shots going on now, a lot of people with shots.
Yes, sir, naturally we could. The thing about switching the dates, and we can look at it if that's what we decide, but June 12th has already been set. Plane tickets have been made, travel arrangements have been made, vacations have been scheduled around it, invitations have been printed, but I'm open for suggestions and opportunities.
And I thank you for bringing that up because the same case existed last year. All of that included last year.
Yes, sir.
And we made exceptions and we had a delayed graduation. So thank you for bringing that up. I do want to go back to, if I can, Mr. Coachman's question.
I can go last, let somebody else go.
Can I answer his question?
Yes, whatever, yes.
About the seating, if I can.
Go ahead.
And I know Dr. Watson said 5, but you make a great point. If the vaccinations are continuing and those that are, we hope, are getting shots, then that may increase. I just wanted to throw that in. That was it.
Now, my question to you is, if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying 4 tickets, but is that the actual visual gymnasium 4 tickets?
No, sir.
That's the overflow and everything, 4 tickets?
Correct.
Okay.
2 for the gym and then 2 for the overflow.
Which there were 4 tickets pre-pandemic also.
Yeah, I understand that, but I didn't remember whether it was the overflow included in that 4 tickets or not.
I think the high school gave 4 tickets in 2019, and we were able to accommodate using overflow. How many does the gym hold, by the way?
How many can?
1,200?
It's about, I think it's about 650.
Oh, 6 tickets? 6 tickets, okay, 6 tickets.
Okay.
So if I'm hearing correctly, you're saying inside, there's a possibility of 6 tickets, which would include overflow.
That was pre-pandemic.
Still possible, because you televise it throughout the building.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Coachman.
I'd like to make a motion, if you guys don't mind, that we look at the options of doing it outside on July the 12th. I think the majority of people want to do it outside, and it would give us a chance to have more people. We'd be able to wear face masks and do some social distancing and try to, even though it's a late graduation, but like you said, Dr. McCord, they'll be able to do it on the new football field, and it will make everybody happy and get more family members here. Just change the flight reservation and come home. Let's have a grand graduation for our kids outside in July 12th.
Well, the 3rd weekend in July.
3rd week in July, and that should accommodate everybody.
Mike, Mr. Coachman, can we maybe do a survey before we come out with the?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we have much time.
I mean, that may take 2 weeks to do a survey and get the public's opinion, and then we'll go from there.
If I can, I'd like to, and I thank you, find out from the students. I don't think, and I don't know who's been making the contact, but that's something that you can, I'll leave that to you.
I got a motion on the floor. I either need a second, and then we can go forward. I need a second on the motion that's on the floor.
What's the motion again?
That
Motion that we do graduation outside third week in July.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded that we do a graduation on the third week in July for 2021. Are you ready for questions?
Outside.
Outside. Are you ready for questions?
You asked for questions?
Yes, sir.
But my question is this, and I make sure I'm understanding this correctly now. We made a motion and second to move the graduation to July. That's what we're just talking about right now. So my question would be, I'm kind of like Mr. Gaiman, Daniel, I think we need to explore that a little more before we just pick that date and say we're going to do that, because there's going to be some kids that are going to be already gone off to school. There's going to be some kids maybe in the service that left, but you know, I don't have a problem with it. I'm trying to explain myself. I don't have a problem with it, but I'm kind of like Mr. Gay. I think we might do better to have a little survey and ask before we do this. And we can do this in May, can we not? I mean, I'm just asking. The May meeting is coming up.
I withdraw the motion.
Okay, the motion has been withdrawn. There is still a motion on the floor that was never closed, and that's my fault. The initial motion that had to do with having Dr. McCord reach out to some other partners for finding funding for the parking lot, and it was given 30 days, and then it was amended. We needed to close that first part of that motion for the first 30 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Say that again?
Initially, there was a 30-day...
But that motion was amended.
We moved it.
So therefore, you don't carry that.
Thank you. I apologize. We're going every which way tonight.
But now, I've still got another question. I'm sorry. So the board is in agreement that Dr. McCord is going to check into this by next meeting as far as what we're going to do with our graduation. You're going to do something with that. Is that what we've said?
I can send a survey. Don't we meet again next week? Next week?
Next Monday.
We meet May the 3rd or something like that.
Next week, Monday?
Yeah, we have a meeting next Monday.
So we can send a survey out in the morning, get it out to the community, look at outside option by third week of July. We'll continue as is in June with the graduation being held inside with 6 tickets to include overflow seating.
I would personally like for that to be done for the graduating class, to get their input on that, because it is their graduation. I'm through now. Thank you.
Well, I would like to go on record saying this. If it's in June or July, it's going to be hot. I'd rather be inside.
Okay. All right, we can move forward.
All right. Superintendent's report, and again, thank you all for your patience. We'll try to move as best we can. We're going to ask Ms. Katrina Bridges to come up and talk about our summer school program. Should be followed by Ms. Margaret Quick-Primus to discuss the CDF after-school program. And I think information has been discussed and talked about in the public as to what we're doing to help remediate students that may have suffered learning loss. I think, Chief, that's been a mantra of yours, making sure we have programs. And so I'm going to let these two ladies talk about it, and then we'll move on. They'll be followed by the pre-kindergarten and the kindergarten registration, Mr. Vita McCall and Don Hood with the state testing update.
Good evening, Board Chair, Dr. McCord, members of the board. I will be sharing with you this evening our plan for our summer reading camp for pre-K through 5. So our theme this year is Wild About Learning, Wild About Reading, Writing, and Research. We have purchased Fontes and Pinnell as our curriculum for Marlboro County School District. So this summer, we will be using those components as our curriculum. We will hold our summer school for K-5 at Bennettsville Intermediate School for grades 3-5, Bennettsville Primary School for grades K-2, McCall Elementary Middle for K-5, with a total of 428 students that we are hoping to be able to serve this summer. We will partner with several different organizations this summer for enrichment activities. Our first will be Auntie Karen's Foundation. Auntie Karen is a nonprofit that offers the arts. There is an option for each school to choose 3 of the arts activities, whether it's photography, chorus, light sculpting, drawing, painting, cooking, or African dance and African drums. We'll also have financial literacy lessons for our 4th and 5th grade students by Mr. Magic Lowry on allowances, budgets, and creating spending plans with the partnership with SPC Credit Union. We'll partner with Marion Wright Elderman Library for reading materials, books, STEM activities, the bookmobile, and other reading extension activities. It is our hope to partner with, we have a meeting with them tomorrow, Elevate K-12 for coding for our 3rd through 5th graders. Riverbank Zoo and Gardens will also be one of our partners. Each of these sessions will be available to all of our students in grades K-5 through a virtual format. This summer, we'll also have professional development by one of our reading coaches here in the district. She will provide PD to all of our teachers surrounding the Fontes and Pinnell classroom components, literacy practices, and she'll also provide side-by-side coaching and planning for our teachers. Our pre- and post-assessment will be MAP and Fontes and Pinnell reading records. And we have also partnered with the high school. We will have our football players and our basketball players to volunteer their time to work with our students on reading, writing, and research to encourage attendance. They will mentor our students and confer with our students around their personal and academic goals and assist with research projects. Students will receive a weekly lesson surrounding SEL from a school counselor or a social worker. We will have 2 information sessions surrounding strategies to help their parents can help their children, and we'll also have an end of the summer finale where all of their work, all of their activities from their enrichment activities can be showcased. Each student will receive a summer pack receiving at least 5 books at the end of the summer. But each Thursday, because we operate Monday through Thursday, each child will receive 1 book. So by the end of the summer, they should have about 9 books. We have also applied for funding for our Sardia pre-K summer program. So every school that has a pre-K site will have an option to run their pre-K Sardia program in their building. We're able to serve up to 100 students this summer. And it's not only students from this year, but it's also students that qualify for next year. So we need to make sure that we get our numbers up for that.
Is that 100 students total or 100 students per school?
100 students total.
Total, okay, thank you.
In February, I applied for a summer reading camp community partnership grant, and we received $66,762 from that grant. If you have any questions, you can find me at the email address on the screen or the phone number.
I have
Any
one
questions?
question now. Yes, ma'am. First, I want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I think you answered my question on the second before the last screen, that this can be continuous for the following summer and the following summer and the following summer. And what would it take to get that done?
We will apply for as many grants as we can. We will work hard to get the funding that we need for the next summer and the next summer and the next summer.
Thank you. If there's anything that we can, and I'm volunteering all of us now, and I probably shouldn't do that. If there's anything that we could do to help to make that possible, or anybody in this community to make that possible that's listening right now, I think that's something that we need to do forever. And I thank you for taking on this project and for getting it done. Thank you very much.
I have one question. The students that will participate, how will they be chosen?
So students that will participate based on that number have been chosen by, they have a possibility of being retained, or they have a MAP score that puts them in a place that we're a little concerned. So we want to provide them with that academic assistance throughout the summer to kind of catch them up a little. But that doesn't mean that we won't accept any students that would like to attend.
That's a good job.
And the program will run how many weeks?
The program is 16 days.
Say it again?
16 days.
16 days.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank
Any
you.
more questions?
Thank you.
I'd like to make a comment. I want to emphasize what Chairman said. Thank you very much for what you did, because in my viewpoint, reading is the most important thing that you can learn. So please, feel free to full speed ahead.
Thank you.
I'm going to continue with the summer school and talk about grades 6 through 12. This is a work in progress. We've just started planning the 6 through 12 curriculum as well as choosing the students. So right now, the principal sent me numbers of students that they felt would need to attend summer school. And so these are projected numbers from middle grades in all the different schools. So we're looking at a total of around 83 sixth graders, 108 seventh graders, and 88 eighth graders that would need to attend.
Come to the mic.
So typical summer school class sizes are about 12 students or less. So what we would need to do is have at least 4 teachers for 6th grade, 5 for 7th, and 4 for 8th. And then Marlboro County High School has agreed to host our summer school for 6th through 8th grade along with their students. They will be housed on the 9th grade hall, and we will have to hire a site coordinator for the 6th through 8th grade and to cover the 9th through 12th summer school as well. Ooh, we can't see that one. Math and ELA will be our focus. Hold on, I think I missed that.
Says teachers will use data for benchmark.
Yes. Yeah, I can't see that from here. The teachers will use their data from the benchmark to determine what the curriculum will be, because we want to focus on what areas the students need to improve on. And then we will use MAP as well as the elementary. We will use our MAP for our pre and post test. And I skipped a part. We're going to have a possible partnership with Elevate K-12 as well. Like Katrina said, we will be speaking with them tomorrow to find out more. And then our high school, summer school, their focus will be on credit recovery through our Edgenuity program. Questions?
Thank you, Ms. Hood, for your help. Again, those of you that know me know how much I feel about our kids and where we need to be and where we are going. You're the ones that's making it happen for us, and I do appreciate it very much. Thank you.
The big news that needs to be shared for all of those in the listening audience is what we're paying for summer school teachers.
Yes, sir. Is it official?
Yes, I mean, we need for people to know that because we're advertising it.
We will be offering teachers $60 an hour to teach summer school.
I need my certificate.
Now, $60 an hour sounds like a lot of money, but you also have to consider we're looking for quality. We're looking not just within, but outside of the district. This money is going to be reimbursable with ESSER funds because we're trying to tackle the learning loss. And so we're trying to make the most of it by making sure that we get quality instruction and not just, time away from home. So again, if you know someone, retired teacher, this may prompt them to come in and do a 16-day run with our kids to get them back. As was mentioned, we'll do a pre-assessment and a post-assessment to see how well students have been able to catch up and retain the knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hood.
Greetings again, Board Chair, members of the board, and Dr. McCord. Originally, I had planned for Ms. Shaquita Pegues, the director of the Children's Defense Fund, to come up and present this part because they are now the fiscal owners of the 21st Century After School Grant. However, she broke her arm this weekend and she has to have surgery tomorrow, so she was not able to attend. So I'm going to present her part. So as you remember, in 2018, the district started searching for community organizations to host the 21st Century program. CDF won the award for 3 sites, which is Blenheim Middle School of Discovery, Clio Elementary School, and Wallace Elementary School. For Blenheim Middle School of Discovery, they were funded $257,000. For Clio Elementary, $248,000, and for Wallace Elementary Middle, $182,000. Currently at Blenheim, they have 50 students. At Clio, they have 32 students in the after-school program, and in Wallace, they have 49. They operate Monday through Thursday. They have 9 staff members employed for Blenheim Elementary Middle. For Clio, they also have 9, and then for Wallace, they have 7. As the request of the parents, students, and teachers, and the community stakeholders, CDF will transition to offering a virtual program model this summer. Due to budget amendments and constraints from the pandemic that arose. Recruitment efforts will still continue as they transition their hybrid programming. Likewise, they will maintain staff and the student numbers. However, they wanted everyone to know that they still have slots for students in the after-school program. They also wanted to let you know that they will be reapplying for the 2021-22 school year, and they'll now be applying for the remainder schools, which is Bennettsville Primary and McCall Elementary Middle and Marlboro County High School. This concludes the report.
Okay.
Any questions?
I do.
Yes.
What can we do to promote this more? Because I'm listening at the numbers that you say, and they're lower numbers.
Yes.
And I'm also hearing CDF say that they can take more. So what can we do?
One of the things that Shaquita and I discussed was just getting out to the parents. Because we have a lot of students initially that was virtual, parents did not see the need to enroll their students or their children into a virtual after-school program. This summer, they're going to try it out where they're doing both models still to be able to reach more students, so they'll have face-to-face and virtual for the summer.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Question.
Yes.
I noticed Blenheim Middle School Discovery has 9 staff, and Wallace has 7.
Yes.
And the funding is about roughly 76,000 different. What does that, what position does that money, I'm looking at the disparity there. Why so less for Wallace?
I'm not sure because they are the fiscal agent, but what I'll do is I'll take down your question, I'll refer it back to Shaquita and give you all an answer within the coming days.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Promise. Ms. McCall.
Mr. Chair, considerably shorter than Ms. Promise. Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. McCord, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am here to present to you the information on pre-K and kindergarten registration. You all may have seen we started registration on March the 1st of 2021, not 2022, for the 2021-2022 school year. You may have already seen the signs across the county advertising registration. Also, parent educators created and distributed flyers to businesses throughout the county, letting parents know that we were beginning pre-K and kindergarten registration, and they passed out those flyers to parents at the school as well. This is the 3-year data on kindergarten enrollment, 2018-19 through 2020-2021. This year we had BPS, we had 125 kindergartners, at Clio 37, McCall 52, and Wallace 44. Excuse me. This is the pre-K enrollment, 3-year trend data. For this year at Bennettsville Primary School, there were 62 pre-K students, Clio 6, McCall 23, and Wallace 15. So far this year, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that this is the first year that we did online enrollment for our pre-K and kindergarten students. This was our first year doing it. So far this year, we've had 26 pre-K registrants and 32 kindergarten. Now that I've mentioned that this is our first year doing that online, we know that the small number for that is because of human error. Our counselors are in the process right now of going back. We had several parents click the wrong link to register their children. So our counselors are now in the process of calling those parents and having them to correct that error and get our students registered. So we know that number will increase. However, we will also be contacting EOC to identify the students who are in their program so that we can get them registered. We can contact those parents and get them registered for our kindergarten program. And our parent educators are also in the process of contacting families of the students at the schools now who have younger siblings that we know of so that we can get those students registered as well. We want all of our pre-K and kindergarten students to be registered before the end of the school year. Are there any questions?
No, got more numbers coming.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening again.
Good evening again.
I'm going to give you our testing updates for the rest of our school year. So spring testing dates, we are in the middle of our 3rd benchmark window. The high school is completing 2nd benchmark for semester 2. along with the third benchmark for the Algebra 1 traditional, and then K through 8, well, first grade through 8th grade are taking their third benchmark. Kindergarten is only taking their second for the year. And we should finish up on Friday. Spring map window will open on Monday, April 26th, and run through May the 14th. And then our SC Ready and SC Pass testing dates will be May the 24th through June the 11th. And spring EOC testing dates are June the 1st through the 11th. For SC Ready, all students in grades 3 through 8 will take ELA and math. The testing window that the State Department has determined is the last 30 days of school. So we tried to push it and give the teachers a little extra time to share or teach their students what they need to know. So our dates are reading will be on May the 24th, writing on May the 25th, and then math on May the 26th. The state has waived our 95% testing requirement, so we don't have to make sure that all of our students test. They have also said that we should not require students to come take a test if parents do not feel that they are safe in the school. For SC Pass, science will only be taken in grades 4 and 6, has the same testing window from the state. We have chosen May the 27th for our Science Day. And again, the 95% testing requirement has been waived there as well. End of course exams, that includes High School Biology 1, English 2, that's reading and writing, U.S. History and the Constitution, along with Algebra 1, which includes our middle school Algebra 1 students. The testing window is the last 30 days of the school year, and our dates are for English 2, we're going to do it on June the 1st, the reading, writing will be June the 2nd, Algebra 1 on June the 3rd, History on June the 4th, and then Monday, June the 7th, will be Biology 1. The 20% final grade requirement has been waived, and the 95% testing requirement has been waived. The State Department has requested that we do not penalize students at all if they do not take their EOC. So that means if it was going to go in the grade book in any manner, it should not do anything to damage their grade. But I think we chose as a district not to put a grade in the grade book at all. And that is the update on testing window.
So you're saying that they're taking tests?
Yes,
but
sir.
the parents can opt out for them not to take the test?
It's not technically called an opt-out, it's just a refusal to test. Is how the State Department named it.
But it won't be penalized. We as a district.
Won't be penalized.
Won't be penalized.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Very.
Yes, sir.
That's interesting. Thank you. That's crazy.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Ms. Hood. Okay, guess with Dr. Robinson?
This is another page, yeah.
Dr. Robinson's going to bring highlights for the recruitment fair that was held on this past Saturday.
Good evening, Chairman McNeil, school board members, and Dr. McCord.
Good evening, Ms. Robinson.
Good evening. As you can see from the PowerPoint, we had an exciting day this weekend. Okay. Before I provide our projected 21-22 vacancy information, I would like to take a few minutes to share with you some highlights from our annual recruitment fair. On Saturday, we hosted our annual recruitment fair at Blenheim Middle School of Discovery instead of the high school. As usual, we were looking for talented teachers, but this year we decided to put a little twist on it, and we also held our fair for classified positions. So we were also in the search for talented bus drivers, custodians, food service operators, and social workers. I am very pleased to say that we had over 50 candidates to visit our booths and interview with schools and department heads. The candidates came from as near as Bennettsville and as far as York and Lancaster County, and also out of state from North Carolina. As you can see from the pictures, Saturday was truly a team effort. I would like to personally thank all of our staff members for giving 110% to make the day a success. I would also like to thank Ms. Jaquel Thomas and Ms. Sabrina Dawkins, Blenheim Middle School of Discovery's Beta Club sponsors, for assisting us with the fair by allowing 17 Beta Club members to serve as student ambassadors for the day. And you see them in the middle picture. They served as escorts and did anything we needed throughout the entire day. They did an amazing job and were dressed wonderfully. All hands were truly on deck Saturday, including Dr. Bryant. And that's more pictures of our booths. We did take COVID protocols into consideration as we planned the event, but I believe it was truly a success. Once again, as you can see, Marlboro County School District is on the move, and we are every day striving to do a better job and have a qualified staff member in all of our classes. As I like to tell everyone this time of year, it is recruitment season. So I would like to share with you our projected vacancies and our new hires. As of tonight, we have filled 5 certified positions in the district and 1 certified position for next year. This information does not include bus drivers. I'll share that information with you at a later date. We are currently looking for 35 staff members throughout the district and 19 classified vacancies throughout the district, and that does not include bus drivers either. We will continue to use our recruitment efforts, such as our district website, our other social media platforms, but in addition to those platforms, we will continue to use alternative certifications such as PACE, Carolina CAP, and I would like to say we had another teacher just this afternoon to inform us that she passed her praxis. So that is now 2 staff members that went through Carolina CAP, and that's our Grow Our Own in Marlboro, that will be able to continue in the programs. We have 6 other teachers that are actively trying to pass their praxis, and they are enrolled in a class that we help them gain access to prepare them to pass the praxis. We will also continue to seek partnerships with agencies such as NETC to provide teachers, such as through auto mechanics. And as you've heard from other presentations, we will continue to use programs such as Elevate K-12 to ensure that we have a certified staff member in every classroom next year. Any questions?
No, I just want to thank you, Ms. McCall, and all the rest of the staff, and all the rest of the staff for their hard work. Mr. Driggers?
Yeah, it's my understanding, I think from what I'm hearing you say, that we are still actively following and recruiting our graduates from Marlboro County High School that may be going off to teach or learn to teach with the courses. We're still actively trying to recruit those, and we're following along behind them, right?
Yes, sir.
That's one thing I really want us to do. Our students, as they leave here and they go into the field of education, we really need to be with them, even after they leave. So, recruit them back home. That's big on my agenda anyway. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else?
I too would like to thank staff for a tremendous Saturday. Thank you, Dr. Vance. The facilities look beautiful. And to go along with what you asked a moment ago, we always encourage and still encourage. If you know someone from the district that's outside of the district that we need to look at, give us the information. If they fit the bill, we definitely want to offer them the opportunity. And I say that because I don't want anyone to think that we just give out a job just because you're from Marlboro County, but if you fit the bill, we want you.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we're at...
No more questions. We'll have Sharon Hubbard come up, and Ms. Hubbard has some important information, so we'll ask that you just bear with us a little bit. And she's going to talk about the budget for 2020 21, 2022. It's a continuing conversation, but this one allows you an opportunity to ponder what your final thoughts might be as we continue to move forward. Ms. Hubbard?
Good evening, Board Chair.
Talk to the microphone. You
Okay.
have to pull it up close.
Good evening, Board Chair, Superintendent, and the Board of Trustees. Before I go into our budget year for 21-22, would like to go over our March 31st financial report. You do have that in your packet of information. At March 31st, we had in our cash coffers $3,419,000. Also, at that same date, we have expended $20,876,000 of a $34,818,000 budget, or 61% of our budget has already been spent. Ideally, at March 31st of any fiscal year, we should have spent 75% of our budget, but we've spent 61% of our budget, meaning that we have about 14% that we've underspent so far this year. Also, in your packet of information, you would review the general fund budget adjustments for March 2021, as well as the Excel spreadsheet for March cash transfers. Do you have any questions? Hearing none, I will go forward with the budget work session. Just would like to remind the board, when we met last, we talked about the teacher step increase that was funded by the state. The governor signed into law the teacher step increase legislation March 2021. And the school district will receive funding based on our current PCS numbers, which includes fringe, which is a good thing. So not only is salaries being funded, fringe benefits such as FICA and Social Security will also be funded by the state. I also would like to remind the board that certified staff who are on salary schedules at years 0 through 2 and after year 25 will not receive the step increase.
Can you answer why? Why not?
That is the state requirement. That is something that they came up with.
That's the only reason why?
Yes, sir.
Because of the state requirement?
That is correct.
Okay.
We want to follow the letter of the law.
Okay.
So those employees that are covered by this legislation includes teachers, library and media specialists, guidance counselors, ROTCs, instructors, school nurses, and social workers. As you see, the cost for those types of employees would be $211,463. Now, those monies will be paid on May 27, 2021 on a separate direct deposit. So we normally would get paid on the 28th, which would be a scheduled pay date, but because it was advised by our software provider to pay those funds on a separate direct deposit, so we chose the date of May 27th. Those monies will be paid to staff, and it will come from our this year's current budget, 2021 budget.
It says that this funding is being funded by the state.
Yes, this part.
So every penny that we give them for this increase, this money has come from the state?
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Only the amount that is shown here.
Right.
That is my estimate amount. That includes fringe.
Okay.
Can I note that's for certified staff?
Certified staff.
And that's important because as a district, we would commit to making those ends meet for classified staff.
Right.
And we'll go into that. The next slide shows the employees that are not covered by this legislation. And it's broken down by category: certified staff, $61,605, and our non-certified staff, which is $178,815. Again, those monies will be paid on May 27th on a separate direct deposit. And again, those funds will be coming from this current year's budget.
Now, this
So
is
that is
not-
the cost for the other staff that are not covered by this legislation.
Okay, got it.
Sorry to mislead you before.
So we would be giving this group a raise,
That's correct.
but we're not giving the other group a raise, we're just letting the state do it.
We're giving the raise, but the state is funding that portion.
Which is what they do anyway. So all we're doing is continuing our current salary schedule. We receive that money from the state. The monies that we don't receive from the state, we kick in from the district. So we're not in essence giving anyone anything, we're just catching up from what was frozen for this year, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Everybody's clear on that? Okay, so that was the teacher step increase. Now we're going to the budget priorities. As last time we met, we talked about the budget priorities for next year's budget, including use of ESSER funds to cover our learning loss and providing a safe and conducive learning environment. Just so you know, we received approval from the State Department this afternoon for our ESSER 2 grant. So we have about $8.8 million that we are expected to receive in the next coming months for ESSER 2 funding. Also with this budget this year, we want to outline the fact that we are wanting to provide a living wage increase for all employees and also attract and retain highly qualified staff. And you will see that in a slide. Also, we want to implement competitive pay scales to recognize degree advancements for all certified positions, which will also be presented in this presentation, as well as restoring retirees' salaries completely at their years of experience. And education, I'm sorry. Again, we'd like to remind you that our financing considerations for next year's budget, that our current operating millage is 185.28, and our current debt service mill is valued at 33 mills for a total of 218 mills. The district has not increased our millage rates in more than 10 years. I would like to also remind the board that the county is currently in reassessment this year, which we can look at some different options because they are in reassessment, and reassessment occurs every 5 years. Each debt service mill is worth approximately $50,000 and the operating mill is worth $42,000. So that's something that we can consider in the coming months as we review our budget. Also, would like to remind the board that we are currently operating under a continuing resolution for this fiscal year. And again, as Dr. McCord had mentioned, the use of ESSER 2 funding to charge capital projects, learning initiatives such as learning loss, and to provide staffing support, we'll be using those funds for this coming year as well.